Once again, welcome to my channel. Today's topic is role of cooperatives in dairy development. So in the series of market milk, as I told, there is a course on market milk and dairy plant operations. We need to discuss about the milk collection and marketing. In this, we will discuss briefly about the background, the old practice of milk collection, and the genesis of cooperatives, which has revolutionized the dairy industry in India. Here we will discuss about the what is cooperatives and what is dairy cooperatives, what is the principles of cooperatives and how those principles are applied in dairy development. We will see the structure of cooperatives and how it is operated at different level, that is the three-tier system, and we will see the key features and impact of these dairy cooperatives, how it has impacted the dairy sector in India and the economic role played by it. And finally, we will see the actual status of the dairy industry today based on these dairy cooperatives. As I mentioned, so about the liquid milk marketing, little bit of background we need to understand, that is about the procurement of milk. This I have discussed earlier about the market milk distribution and the flow of operations. So in which procurement of milk is very important, and it becomes necessary when the milk is produced away from the place of consumption. Particularly in rural India, most of the milk is produced in a scattered manner, but the demand is more in the urban areas or in the towns and cities. So systematic efforts are needed to bring the milk from rural areas to the cities, and that is how the procurement of milk becomes important, and this is considered as the first step for the market milk industry. So we are mostly focused now about the operation of milk marketing or liquid milk marketing. And in earlier days there was no such specialized dairy farms, so the milk was collected from the smaller units, so procurement becomes very important. So here we will see the types of or methods of milk procurement. The first one is directly from the producers or farmers. Briefly we will discuss about it later. Then second one is through the middlemen. The third one through the agents or contractors. And the fourth one directly from the dairy or processing plant. And the last one is through the cooperative societies. So our focus today is to discuss details about the cooperative societies. Before going to it, we need to understand the background and the old scenario before the cooperative came into the real play. Here we will briefly discuss about the first method, directly from the milk producers. The milk is procured directly from the milk producers, and this is a old non-existent pattern. In this system, individual producers supply milk to the dairy independently. That means any milk producer independently will come and supply milk to the dairy plant, and there is no obligation of any kind on either party. Either the receiver or the producer has no obligation. He may give it someday, he may not give. Similarly, the receiver may take someday or sometime not. Another important aspect is price fixation is done by the dairy plant, and producers have no say in this matter. That means the dairy plant can fix the price at its own will. It can be sometime low, sometime high. So that was a big exploitation. So this is the disadvantage of this method of milk collection, which was very old and not existent much nowadays. This is the second method, that is through middlemen. This method is still existent in a scattered manner in many places, particularly in the deep rural area or wherever the cooperative is not very good, functional or successful. In this system, dairies receive milk through the middlemen who may be milk producers as well. In the rural area, some people may have their own milk production, and in addition to that, they collect milk from other milk producers or farmers. And they buy this milk from these dairy farmers in the rural area and bring it and supply to the dairy. So in this case, the dairy has no contact with the producers directly. Only the middleman collect the milk from the producer and bring it to the dairy. Naturally, there is a great exploitation by the middleman. He gets the more profit than the actual producer due to the exploitation. So this is the third method, that is through agent or contractor. Milk procurement through the agent or contractor. In some dairies, milk is received by the authorized agents or contractors. So there are some specific agents who collect the milk and supply to the dairy. So dairy enter into an agreement with the agent or contractor for supply of specific quantity of milk for a specific period. So there is a specific agreement. There is a price of milk, its quality and quantity in different season is mutually agreed upon. So there is a standard agreement which both the parties to follow. But other details such as payment, timing, transportation of milk, settlement of dispute if any, and penalties for failure, etc. are decided at the time of making agreement. So at the time of making the agreement, they decide about the time, payment, transport and other failure and dispute and penalties, etc. So this is somewhat a better method with some transparency and some authenticity. Now here we will discuss about the drawbacks or demerits of these three methods which briefly I have mentioned. Firstly, in the first method, the milk producers are exploited and they don't get remunerative price, as the price is fixed either by the dairy. In case of first method, the price is decided by the dairy plant. In the second method, price is decided by the middleman, and in the third method, price is decided by the contractor. So in all these three methods, the milk producers are getting exploited and they don't get remunerative price. This is the major demerit or disadvantage. The second is producers suffer due to seasonal variation. So due to the change of season like summer, winter or rainy season, the milk production varies, and because of that producers suffer with the different variation in the rate. Thirdly, no facilities are provided to the producer for increasing milk production. So this method of collection is not supporting the farmer by any other means to rear their dairy cows better for their breeding, feeding, management, healthcare, etc. There is no kind of support to the farmers. That's a major drawback. And finally, no efforts are made towards the social and economic upliftment of the milk producers. So this is another drawback. So altogether, this old method of collection of milk was not very encouraging to the farmers or not encouraging to the dairy development. Now the fourth method of milk procurement is through the cooperative societies. This is the modern and existing practice for the support and development of the dairy sector, on which I am going to discuss full details in this lecture. This is only a background. So in this cooperative system, milk producers form a cooperative society at village level, and then several societies join together to form a milk union in the district level. And finally, they form a federation at the state level. So here the milk producer is one of the owners of the dairy, and they have the right to fix the price of milk as per the quality. And not only that, each farmer is a member of a cooperative society, so they get the share of the profit made by the dairy. So it is their own business, starting from the production, then collection, then distribution and marketing. So every farmer becomes part of it, so they get the share of the profit. So in this system, there is a self-reliance to the producers for solving their problems in a collective manner. Not only that, in this system, they support the dairy production, dairy farming by giving inputs in all other aspects, which we will discuss later. This is another modern method of milk collection directly from dairy or processing plant. Earlier we have discussed about the dairy development in India and the modern status of the dairy industry in India in two separate lectures. There I have discussed about the growth of the dairy development and status at present. So nowadays we have very high modern infrastructure for milk collection and transport. Because of that, there is a improvement in the operation or procurement. So due to the having facilities for refrigerated transport, and it resulted in procurement of milk in bulk quantities from distant places. One dairy situated 1,000 kilometers away can get milk from another dairy. So this is the mechanism to transport long distance through refrigerated vehicle. Dairies in Mumbai and Kolkata getting supplies from Amul dairy located in Anand, that is Gujarat. Similarly, Mother Dairy in Delhi can procure milk from feeder dairies in Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Madhya Pradesh, Punjab and Rajasthan. So this is the modern way of milk procurement directly from the dairy plant. Now we will focus more on the cooperative and role of dairy cooperatives in dairy development in India. So first let us understand about what is cooperative. According to Cooperative Planning Committee 1946, cooperation has been defined as a form of organization in which persons voluntarily associate together on a basis of equality for the promotion of their economic interest. So it's a joining together for personal, business or economic development. Those who come together have a common economic aim which they cannot achieve by individual isolated action because of the weakness of the economic position of a large majority of them. So in this case, one individual alone cannot achieve that economic goal, so they can join together and then they can get benefited. So this element of individual weakness is overcome by the pooling of their resources. So the resources of so many people pool together and making self-help effective through mutual help and by strengthening the bond of solidarity between them. So the mutual resources are pulled together and then they join together with their mutual help and strengthening the bond, and then they develop a solidarity and get the success. So this is the philosophy of cooperative. Now we will discuss about dairy cooperatives. Earlier I told only cooperatives which is applicable to any economic activities. Now it is about dairy cooperatives. So dairy cooperatives are member owned organizations where dairy farmers collaborate to produce, process and market milk and milk products. So several dairy farmers can join together to make a dairy cooperative for the improvement in production, processing and marketing, and ultimately to get better profit and improve their livelihood. They typically operate on a tiered structure, that is at village level cooperative society, district level union and state level federation, and sometime at a national level federation. And finally they achieve a greater efficiency and market power. The key functions include milk collection, quality testing, processing and marketing, and also it supports in the dairy farming or in the production through all other inputs like breeding, feeding, healthcare and all the aspect. Ultimately the goal is improving the livelihood of the farmers. So this is what is the importance of dairy cooperatives. Now we will discuss briefly about the basic principles of cooperation. There are 9 principles. The first one is it is a voluntary association that is based on principles of cooperation. Number 2, it is a democratic organization that is one man, one vote, and the distinguishing principle of cooperation is followed here. Number 3, self-help through mutual understanding. So the motto is each for all and all for each. Number 4, common welfare. There is no place for self-interest or individual interest. In continuation about principles of cooperation, number 5, a non-profit motive. It is not merely business but the spirit of service which evokes loyalty, fellowship and corporate feeling. So profit alone is not the major motive here. Number 6 is distribution of profit. The rate of dividend is fixed by act and the remaining profit goes on the basis of dealings with the society. So profit is distributed to all the members based on their shares. In continuation about principles of cooperation, number 7 is open membership. Here any person of any caste, gender or religion without any distinction can join such organization to meet their common needs. So there is no disparity, open to all. Number 8, political and religious neutrality. So this cooperative will not have any specific connection with political parties or any religion in order to achieve their economic and social upliftment. And number 9, the last one is the thrift, that is it must precede credit because this is the basic of self-help. So credit facility should be there for supporting their economic need. Now we will understand about the application of cooperative principles in dairying. Principle of cooperation can be applied to any sphere of economic activity, but here in this case of dairy, small scattered dairy farmers in rural areas face problems related to milk production as well as marketing of milk and do not get remunerative price for milk. So this is the biggest challenge for the small producer because they are dependent on the middlemen or the dairy plant or the agents. So this situation was exploited by the middlemen. So to eliminate middlemen and provide remunerative prices for milk to the producers, cooperative dairying came into the existence. The principle of cooperatives is highly suitable here for the dairy farmer to get the remunerative price for their milk production and to avoid the exploitation by the middlemen. In continuation about application of cooperative principles in dairying, in the first 5-year plan after independence in India after 1951, the cooperation was recognized as an instrument of planned economic action in democracy. A sum of rupees 40 lakhs was provided to the farmers to form cooperatives. In the second 5-year plan, the emphasis on cooperative farming, production and marketing was given on a much broader perspective which continued in subsequent 5-year plan. So starting from the first 5-year plan to second and further, every 5-year plan, the cooperative dairy farming has been encouraged and promoted by the government. In continuation about cooperative principles in dairying, so slowly there was an increasing sense of cooperation led to the development of several milk unions and milk supply societies at national, state, district and village level. The most exciting example of milk union established in the Kaira district Cooperative Milk Producers Union, popularly named with a brand as Amul in Anand, Gujarat. So this is the most successful cooperative society in India, and later on this pattern has been multiplied throughout India under Operation Flood, which I have discussed in details in my previous lecture about the dairy development in India. This is showing about the cooperative structure in India. As I already mentioned, at the lowest level is the village cooperative societies, at the district level cooperative unions, and at the state level federation, and sometime at the national level all state federation cooperatives. So this is the structure which has been developed through the Operation Flood following the Anand pattern. The details again I am going to explain further. Here we will see the cooperative operation. As I have told previously about the cooperative 3-tier structure, sometime 2 or 3-tier, even 4-tier system. The first is primary cooperative milk producer societies at village level. Here individual dairy farmers form a cooperative in their village to pool milk. The second is cooperative milk producers union at district level. Here primary cooperatives in a region join together to form a district union for processing and marketing. And then the tertiary level, that is at the state level, cooperative dairy federation, or sometimes even there is a dairy federation at national level combining all state federations. So here district unions in a state can form a state federation, creating a large scale marketing and policy making body. Now briefly we will understand how this three-tier level cooperative operation takes place. The first one at primary cooperative milk producer societies, that is at the village level, how they operate, that is arrange for necessary inputs for fodder development, which include loan, seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, insecticides and irrigation facilities. So all these facilities are given to the dairy farmer for better milk production. Similarly, they also arrange for concentrate feed, breeding facilities and veterinary facilities, that is the healthcare and feed and breeding support. Thirdly, organize milk collection, testing and payment to the producers or members. So whatever milk is produced by each member, it is collected after testing and proper price and payment is given. And finally, it also provides leadership for various economic and social activities. So as I mentioned earlier, it is not only to uplift the economic status, it is also to improve the social activity and improve the livelihood of the rural people. Now we will see how the district level milk producers union operate. The firstly, the collection of milk from member societies. The union district level collect the milk from the member societies from the village level, develop processing, manufacturing and storage facilities, that is the milk handling capacity and processing. Third is organize dairy extension activities, that is about supporting the farmer for their production or any problems. And fourth is organize availability of technical inputs for its primary societies. So this district union support for the technical inputs, maybe for vaccination, for healthcare, for breeding or feeding, scientific technical support. And finally, organize consumer oriented marketing system for milk and milk products. So this district union also helps in proper marketing in a systematic way for the consumers. Now the third level, that is the cooperative dairy federation, either at the state level or all state together at national level. Here what it does, it supervise, guide and control the activities of its primary societies or milk unions. It promote the cooperative principles and promote the scientific dairy practices from the dairy federation. Now here we will see in general the key features and impact of cooperatives. First one is farmer empowerment. The dairy cooperatives empower farmers by giving them control over their milk marketing, ensuring they receive fair prices and a share of the profits. Secondly, quality and value. They have a strong reputation for producing quality products and have become major market leaders in their respective regions. Thirdly, social and economic objectives. Cooperatives aim for the social and economic development of their members through shared resources and decision making. And finally, support and services. The cooperative often provides essential support including veterinary care, feed and technical assistance to improve their dairy farming practices. So this is the overall feature and impact of the dairy cooperatives, which supports the farmers in every aspect and finally improving their livelihood, social and economic development. The role of cooperatives in the dairy sector. Number one, organize the unorganized sector. They have been instrumental in bringing the largely unorganized dairy sector into a more organized and regulated system. Secondly, ensure quality. They work to ensure the quality of milk and dairy products meets statutory specifications. Thirdly, boost milk production. By providing a reliable market and supporting services, they encourage an increase in milk production, contributing to India's overall milk supply. And that's how we are number one milk producer in the world today for almost 3 decades. And finally, support brands. They are the backbone of major dairy brands in India, such as Amul or Nandini in Karnataka, Amul in Gujarat, and they are known for their quality and value. Here we will see the economic role of cooperatives. The first is eliminate middlemen. They create a direct link between farmers and the market, ensuring producers get fair prices based on milk quality, that is the fat and SNF content. Secondly, ensure regular payments. They pay farmers for their milk collection twice a day, providing a stable and consistent income. So there is no scope for exploitation or giving pending prices, etc. Thirdly, provide financial assistance. Cooperatives offer financial support for purchasing cattle and provide access to credit, helping farmers expand their business. So this is a great support for the poor farmers, giving the credit and supporting the finance or supporting for purchase of cattle or other inputs. And finally, enhance product value. They facilitate the processing and marketing of milk and also support value-added products like butter, cheese, ghee, which increases the return for farmers. So they are supporting the processing, helping to make more demanded value-added products and thereby getting more financial return to the farmers or producers. Now we will see some of the impact of the cooperative movement on the dairy sector, which we have discussed earlier in the dairy development in India in details in a separate lecture. Here just few things I will explain how the dairy structure or status today, and it is all due to the cooperative dairy movement. So the Amul model or Anand model has been replicated all over India under the Operation Flood starting 1970. It went through 3 phases, phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3, ended in 1996. So this is called as White Revolution, and Operation Flood is one of the most successful dairy development program in the world today. And this is being replicated or followed by other countries taking the advice from India. So presently we can see there are 28 state level federations, 240 district unions, 1,90,000 village level cooperative societies and 16.9 million farmer members in the cooperatives. So this shows the great success of the cooperative movement in India. Here we can see at a glance the dairy sector in India. For last almost 28 years, from 1998, India is the #1 milk producing country in the world. Secondly, almost 25% of the total milk of the world is produced from India, and 5% contribution to national economy from the milk. Dairy is the single largest agricultural commodity now. About 8 crore, more than 8 crore farmers are directly employed in the dairy sector, of which 70% are the women. The annual growth rate is 5.62%, and the robust growth in milk production, that is from 14 to 24 in last 1 decade. The per capita availability of milk presently 471 gram per day, which is higher than the world average, that is 329 gram per day. And the major milk producing states in India are Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Himachal Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Punjab, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu. Here briefly we will see the achievements under White Revolution. This we have discussed in details in my earlier lecture in the dairy development in India. So firstly, this program made India the largest milk producing country and boosting self-sufficiency. From 1998, India is the largest producer of milk, and presently our production is about 240 million metric ton. This has established a cooperative framework, improving farmers' socio-economic status. and created a national milk grid for efficient distribution. Whenever there is a shortage or extra production, it is balanced through a national milk grid which has been established through Operation Flood program. The next is improved milch animal quality through crossbreeding. Large scale crossbreeding has been done all over India and which has improved the milk production capacity of the indigenous cows. Further, minimized price variations by eliminating middlemen. The purchasing or procurement process has been changed due to the cooperatives. So the price variation is no more there and the farmers are benefited with the better remunerative price. And finally, modernized the dairy sector, making 10 million farmers self-reliant. So now the dairy sector is very much modernized and that makes a great economic upliftment of the farmers. Here we can see some of the major milk cooperatives across India. The most famous Amul is from Gujarat and next very important is the Nandini from Karnataka. There are others like Vita from Haryana, Varka from Punjab, Saras from Rajasthan. In Maharashtra it is Mahanand or Gokul. In Madhya Pradesh, Sanchi. In Kerala, it is Milma. Tamil Nadu, it is Avin. In Telangana, Vijaya. In Andhra, it is Bisakha. In West Bengal, it is Ben Milk. In Assam, it is Purabi. And Bihar, it is Sudha. Further, due to White Revolution, as I mentioned, India is the largest producer of milk. And milk is the biggest, largest agricultural commodity. And India can be the 1/3 milk producer in the world by 2033. Now we have 25%. We may reach to 33% by 2033 of the world milk production. Now we are at the end of today's lecture and I will briefly summarize. The beginning I have tried to give a structure of milk procurement and status of milk marketing in India, that is the liquid milk marketing or market milk. So this lecture is related to the market milk and the dairy plant operations. So earlier existing situation of procurement I have discussed and the pros and cons of it, and then our main focus is to talk about the role of cooperative in dairy development in India. So we have tried to explain what is cooperative and what is the dairy cooperative. I have explained what is the principles of dairy cooperative and how those principles are applied in the dairy sector or dairy development. I have explained about the structure of cooperative, the three-tier system at village level, district level and state level, and how it operates. I have explained in details for each sector, that is the village level, district level and state level. And I have explained what is the key feature and impact of the cooperative, and also I have seen how it has helped in the dairy sector and what is the economic impact due to the cooperative movement in the dairy sector. And finally, I have explained the present status of the dairy sector due to this Operation Flood and cooperative movement, the number of cooperatives at district level or state level or village level unions. We have seen the present structure of milk production or status of milk production, the growth rate, the world status, the per capita availability and economic aspect, and also at a glance we have seen the impact of White Revolution on the dairy sector and some of the major milk producing states in the country. So thank you. Hope it makes a clear understanding about the role of dairy cooperatives in liquid milk marketing and dairy development in India. Thank you.